Yeah.
Me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, it's match day. Aston Villa versus Newcastle United, the pre-match build-up. And we've got the star-studded lineup this morning as well. I've got Pete and I've got Roly. How are you two guys?
Very well, Tony. You?
Yeah, not too bad. See how I pronounce you there? The star-studded lineup.
It's just telling the truth, Tony.
So guys, if you like what you see, then please smash the likes. It does help the channel with search results, so smash those likes, and that'd be great. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow. Bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. Also, there's a link in the chat if you'd like to make a donation. Click the link and follow the instructions. I'm just going to dive into comments because obviously, sorry, we are a little bit late this morning. I do understand. Sefton's trying to tell me off. And one other thing as well, if you haven't checked it out yet, then please go and check this out, and that is northwestmags.com. Very good website, worth having a look at. Some brilliant stuff on there. Sefton in the chat come up with this website. We have now been joined by some fellow Northwest Mags from Manchester area, who have now come on board, and so we are all getting bigger by the day. And do check it out. There's lots to see on there. There's forums, the galleries, the podcasts. You'll see us on there. So do check it out.
And if you want to assault your eardrums, there's me singing at Tranmere Rovers game earlier this season.
Yeah, maybe wear ear defenders when you listen to that one.
I think it's E-I-E-I-E-I-O.
Trolls. Hi, Tony and Roly. Hi, Trolls. Hi, all, says Trolls.
Maybe Trolls.
Craig says, morning all. Good morning, Craig. Ian says, have to beat this lot today. Oh, God, yes, we do. Craig says, time to turn the screw and take 3 points. Absolutely. Sefton, morning chat. Sexy Mag is going for 2-0. How are you, the lads? God's sake. Jake's got a lot to answer for. Trolls, hope Gordon starts ahead of Murphy, so we have some speed and trickery from the start. Yeah, definitely. We'll get into that in a moment. Can't stand Villa fans. I'd love if we beat them. Love it, says yeah, absolutely. After the sub on the Tyne back in 2009, we don't forget. Hi, Sexy Mag. Trolls, I'd play him anyway. Their pants when you hit them on the break. Yeah, well, let's beat their low block of 6. Indeed, all right. People say morning all to Luke, morning to you. Tony Ole, yes, I know I am, Sefton, sorry. Trolls, is Mag short for Maggie and Sexy Mag? This is a new thing going around now. It's going to end up on your channel soon, Pete, I tell you.
Oh, God.
Sefton the Sexy Mag. Andrew, I read all. Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. And I remember when Pete brought up about your photograph, Andrew, and a little bit of Archer in there, isn't there? Not these 3, says Andrew.
But
Morning, Pete, morning, Tony. Yeah. Morning, Pete, Roly and Tony, says Sefton. Good morning
well,
to you,
Sefton.
mate. We're not going to pick you up by your new name, by the way. Morning, Tony, Roly and Pete, says Ian. Good morning,
You well,
Ian.
Ian?
Knee sleep, says Sefton. Well, that's what happens when you work night shift, mate. Top lineup, especially when Newcastle are playing early as well. Blame BT Sports for this, mind, Sefton. Don't blame me. It's not my fault. I didn't see 12:30 kick-off, by the way. Morning, Sefton. Jan Levens. Let's get these FS. Yeah, absolutely, Jan. Absolutely, mate. David, hi, Tony, mate. I can't wait for the match today. I got local here on as well as I'm going for 4-1 Newcastle. Well, that's a good score line. That's confidence. Craig, I wonder if Eddie will start Gordon because of the reaction of the press last weekend. Obviously, it depends on how he's trained, but he must be close to start and shut a few up. Do you know what it is, Craig? Eddie Howe said yesterday, it's done and dusted as far as he's concerned. And the thing is, all I've been sick of seeing all this week is people rumbling on, oh, Gordon this, Gordon that. And I'm thinking, do you know what? It's probably been sorted on the match day at the end of the game.
Yeah. You see him walking off smiling and Eddie put his arm around him. In his press conference yesterday, he said that he trained really well this week. So he's in with a shout for starting.
Good morning, all, says Lewis. Good morning, Lewis. Good morning, lads from Gary D. Good morning to you, mate. How are you? Well. Mason says you're going to the game, Lewis, at Gateshead. I'll tell you what, Mason, Gateshead have been on fire since they got that final. And I tell you what, they've stayed up now, and they're fine, they're safe as far as I'm concerned. So pleased for Gateshead. Lewis, just think it's better any 3 o'clock kickoff. Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, you know, the traditional morning all, says Mason. Good morning, Mason. Hope you're well, mate. Jack, morning, Tony. Morning, Jack. Hope you're well, mate. People talking to each other. Sefton talking to Jack as well. Craig says they're chatting and smelling on the pitch after the game. No one shows it except NUSC TV. Exactly.
I mean, they did show it on Sky when they're doing Eddie's press conference when he was talking about Gordon showing coming off there. So, but that's the only time that I saw it. There again, but they want to try and foment unrest because all their rule changes isn't stopping us. So I think, well, if we can get some unrest in the dressing room, maybe that'll do them up. But Eddie's got it sorted before they even came off the pitch. From what I understand from what I've heard is that he went down to do the shithousery, make you think that he hurt his ankle. When Eddie's seeing him and go down like that, think, oh, he's just come back from an ankle injury. We can waste some time by bringing him up and saves his ankles, and neither actually realised what the other was doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Misunderstanding, but it's all sorted now. I wouldn't be surprised if if Gordon starts over Murphy. It'd be a bit tight on Murphy because he's been playing well, but he did have a poor half against Brentford, but that happens. So it all depends on how well he's trained. There's obviously jumping at the bit to start. So
yeah. Lewis talking to Mason, he won't be there, but he'll be there Tuesday. Mason says they've been flying. They play Andy Woodman's Bromley this afternoon. Andy Woodman, yeah, we all remember him. Go on, Gateshead. Team News 11:30. Yes, Sefton. Once on Sky Sports News. And Craig says, can't talk about money, so dark arts and unrest is the new play. Absolutely. I mean, they're going to try everything. And do you know what? We just ignore it as a club. Troll says, everybody got their spell book ready for the dark arts at 12:30. I mean, I'll come to you, Pete. I mean, obviously, I said the other day about Anthony Gordon, look, you know, he's showing a bit of passion coming off. He doesn't want to come off. Who wants to come off, right? That's fair enough. Yes, he had that little bit of ruckus, but I'm sure it was sorted out. You saw Eddie Howe have his hand around him after the game. You saw Matt Ritchie, the old head of the team, talking to him as well. Maybe Matt Ritchie saying to him, look, you know, I understand you're frustrated coming off. Don't lose your cool like this. Look, this club's going big places and you need to start knuckling down. And, you know, he's just probably given some words of advice, some wise advice. I mean, what was your take on that?
I mean, I knew that this would have been resolved after the full time easily. I mean, you can tell Gordon's passion. I mean, you would feel a little bit after you come on as a substitute as well, in a way. So, but I'm glad it's all put aside. I knew it wasn't going to go over the. I mean, some of the people that have gone over the top with it, Darren Ambrose in particular, I mean, came in out and says they should suspend him for this game. Not a chance. He's just passionate.
No.
He's a very young lad, and he'll learn from it.
Yeah, he will do. Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit harsh to do something like that just to suspend him for that. But yeah. Luke says, I've lost my spell book truly. Craig says, I reckon Gordon will be on a mission all week after Richie had a word. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Andrew says, just had chicken and Peter. Just had chicken, sausages and meal, Peter.
Oh, God.
He took a photo and sent it to Peter. He'll put on his food pics next week. Joel says, that's okay. Look, just trying to find a ritual. I mean, team news has come out in 12 minutes. I mean, as far as team news goes, I would probably say Murphy should drop out in favour of Gordon, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think Gordon has got a bit more about him. Plus, he may put a bit more pressure on that Villa defence, especially Ashley Young, who's like, must be about 55-year-old now, isn't he? You know, he's 37, I know, but he's really knocking on now. And Gordon, with his freshness against him and his athleticism, would be absolutely fantastic. But do you see that change happening, Roly, or do you think he'll stick with the same team that started?
It's a difficult one because he's been quite loyal when players have performed, which Mercy has been up until that game. But nobody played particularly well at Brentford. So it's possible he could start with the same starting 11. But it's also possible that he could bring in Gordon to sort of like stick two fingers up to the press and everyone's been knocking him. That wouldn't be a bad shout because he's a decent player, and we can sort of have Murphy on the bench to come in and make an impact there. And that's a great thing where we are now, player-wise, is that now we've got 4 or 5 players on the bench who can come on and actually make a difference and not drop the quality of the team. There's a point earlier in the season where you'd bring 2 players on, you get to Anderson, and then you think, well, what's the point of bringing anybody else on? Because we're just going to get worse. Now we can change 5 players and still have a really effective side. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pete, obviously, like I say, I'll go for that change. But, you know, the amount of people who've rumbled on from our own fan base, Eddie doesn't do the substitutions early enough. He doesn't, he should be doing this, should be doing that. Eddie makes an early substitution that surprises everybody, but not just 1, 2 players. Come on. Turn that game around. We win it 2-1. That's a master stroke, isn't it, Pete?
Absolutely. You could tell he was not happy with that first half against Brentford, and something needed something needed to be changed, and that's why Eddie did what he had to do. He had 2 players off, Longstaff and Murphy, who weren't particularly great. Bringing another striker on in Callum Wilson, who did very well despite his goal getting ruled out as well, and Gordon had pace on him as well. And look how we completely turned it around in that second half completely.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just on Newcastle's Twitter page, if anybody's been on it, I've just given you a rerun of goals scored by Yohan Cabaye at Villa Park, which done that from outside the box on the volley. Controlled volley from Ioris Gutierrez cross. That came out to him, and
when we won 2-1
in the top corner. Yeah. So even Gouffran's playing in that game, so that shows you how far back that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely brilliant. True Guna says, "You're right, lads. Newcastle getting 3rd this season. Do you know what it is? I said this a few weeks ago. I says, and Pete looked at me rather strange and thought, "Oh, that's a bit as if I was being a bit brave saying third." But I'm not far wrong. So yeah, I
Dogs
mean,
to lose
thing
now.
is though, Spurs have got to go to Bournemouth, haven't they? Or they got Bournemouth at home. I can't remember if it's home
At
or away.
Spurs.
That's
It's at
Spurs.
It's
Spurs.
at Spurs.
But again, Bournemouth's been picking up some results as of late as well. So don't write them off. And I thought
That's
Spurs
what I'm
were
saying. It wouldn't surprise me, Pete, would it, for
And
Bournemouth to go there and beat
the
them?
only thing that won Spurs that game last week against Brighton was VAR.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor officiating in VAR.
Also, the fact Man United travel to Forest tomorrow. Game,
Well,
you haven't
I
got
wouldn't-
Rashford.
They haven't got Martinez.
Out for the
I don't
season,
think
yeah.
they've got Varane either. They've got Martinez.
Varane's out for a few weeks.
Casemiro still out, or is he back now?
I think he's back now.
Yeah, but they basically their centre half partner pairing, which is really good, is out. So they're going to have Maguire and someone else in the centre. Lindelof, yeah. But it's not going to be easy for them. But I'd still expect them to beat Forest.
I mean, did you see Mark Goldbridge's tweet about when the Sevilla players were helping Martinez off the pitch?
No.
I'm gonna, because I mentioned this on my show last night, so I'll run it. This is what he said, right? You ready?
Yeah.
Why the hell were Sevilla players carrying Martinez off as well? Bruno would have decked them both and said, "Get off." They're only doing it to get the game back on quicker.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with getting them on? Get the game back on quicker when you're behind. Is he accusing him of?
I think there were Martinez's Argentina teammates as well.
Quite possible.
I mean, just
unbelievable.
I kind of take
that.
I kind of take that bloke seriously. I really can't.
Yeah, well.
No, I can't either. He's the guy's a muppet, Mark Goldbridge. I mean, he's just every time he's just got to be there, and he's the guy's just like I say, he's an absolute muppet, and I can't stand the bloke, to be fair. But yeah, I just don't. I really just don't. I really just don't get him at times, Mark Goldberg. I really don't. But well, it's one of them, innit? We got 5 minutes till the lineup comes out. I mean, what sort of game are you expecting today, Roly?
It's going to be a tough game, but I think we'll have too much quality for them. I don't see them scoring. The form we're in, we'll get a few. I don't think we're going to sort of put 5 past them, but it's a possibility you could. But I think 3-0. I think the scoreline's going to be more comfortable than the actual game. It'll be like we get too early. They try and get back into the game, and we get a third, and then the game sort of peters out. I've not been that impressed with them recently, though they're on a good streak of form. They've been gifted goals in both the last 2 games they've won. They've been gifted both 2 goals in each of them.
Yeah.
Gifted 2 by Chelsea. They're gifted 2 by Forest. We're not going to gift them goals.
No, we're not a gift no more.
And Watkins is decent players on form, but Shah and Botman will handle him. Bailey, I think, is not going to be is doubtful.
I think he's definitely missing, along with Matty Cash, Coutinho, as well.
I mean, that's a lot of their offensive spark.
I think Kamara's missing as well for them.
Yeah, so they've got the players that you expect them to try and hurt us with aren't playing. They've only got Watkins up front. You think, he's got a bit about him. But Bailey's one that I would have been, concerned, not worried about, concerned. He's got a bit of him. That Traore guy his goals were good, but he's gifted them.
Yeah. I mean, going back to what you were saying, like, obviously, Man United are going back to Harry Maguire. I mean, he hasn't played for that long as well, has he? I mean, I've just got a photograph here of Harry Maguire, which, you know, I think he actually got his name wrong, Roly. So here he comes. There he is. That's Uncle Fester. And obviously, Harry Maguire hasn't played that long. It's in black and white.
I love that.
Fort the Forest tomorrow. Look.
Oh wow!
That'll make everybody chuckle. I know the Man U fans won't like that, but I couldn't care less about Man United fans. Couldn't care less about them. Lewis says, Adam Piasson in the hotel said it was the worst he's ever been in. Do you know what it is, Lewis? Every hotel he goes to is the worst. He gets worse, doesn't he? Poor guy. Troll says, okay, everyone, remember to swish and flick the last one. Coffee, hi, Tony PD and Roly and all. Hi, Coffee, hope you're well. He says, I'm sorry, PD, I fell asleep during your show and missed the food picks. Are you trying to say Pete's boring now?
Well, it's the time to catch up with Coffee, so...
Absolutely, get back on there and look at them food picks because there's some crackers on there. Mm-hmm. If rumours are true, Gordon starts, says Sefton. Who knows? Hard game, says Lewis. It is a bit tough, but I'm sure we'll get it. Hopefully we'll win. Luke says, tough game with how they set up, but I think we have more than enough to open them up with a 3-1 win. Absolutely. Sefton, please hit that like button and subscribe and hit the bell notifications for future shows. How are you, the lads? Thank you very much indeed, Sefton.
Can I just put a caveat to my 3-0 score line? That is if we don't play in any part of the game like we did in the first half against Brentford.
Yeah. Coffee says, Mark Goldbridge celebrating goals and reacting to the conceding almost seems borderline fake and unnatural. Bias says, their win streak against relegation fodder in management transition, Everton, Palace, Leicester, Forest and Chelsea playing volleyball. They are still Aston Vanilla. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've got one award which I'm going to bring up actually. I thought Harry Maguire was Lurch. That's Archer with a shave. 2 minutes for the team news, says Lewis. No, I was tired. It was a long day. Very true, Roly. I mean, before I go into the team news, obviously, I've got an award to hand out this week because, I mean, Cock of the Week. Right. Now, this award for Cock of the Week goes to, I don't know if he watches my channel. He probably doesn't. But, you know, if you do, I hope you like your reward. This goes to Todd Bowley of Chelsea, the owner. And I'll tell you why. On Sky, he said, we're going to beat Real Madrid 3-0 at the Bernabeu. Is that man on drugs? Is that man having a laugh? Because there was no way Chelsea are going to the Bernabeu and smashing Madrid 3-0. That man, I don't know what he was drinking or smoking, but whatever it was, obviously went to his head. So, Todd Bowley, this is your reward, your Cock of the Week.
Team's out, Tony.
It is, absolutely. So, we'll get that on the screen and we'll get the team news through. Right. We've got Nick Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno, Joe Willock, Joe Linton, Jacob Murphy, Anthony Gordon, and Alexander Isak. On the bench, we have Dubravka, Lascelles, Wilson, Ritchie, Target, Manquillo, Almiron, Anderson, and Longstaff. So Almiron is back on the bench. So
that's good.
That's good.
A little surprised he dropped Longstaff, but rather than Murphy. But yeah, still a decent team. But that's Eddie all along. He throws the surprises.
I said he puts curveballs, and I said, "Oh, Murphy will probably be dropped." And and what happens? It's not Murphy dropped. It's actually Longstaff that's dropped. So it just goes to show, doesn't it, how, team news will be appearing on the screen. And now, should be. There we are. So there's your team news for today. Yeah, I'm just going to jump into comments. 4-0 says Andrew. Mafinho and Gordon starting. Yeah, so obviously Gordon must be going out left maybe, and Joe Linton's playing in that centre mid.
Yeah.
Because Gordon can play left wing, so maybe that's the thinking there, and keeping Murphy on the right. I like Joe Linton in midfield, says Coffee. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's his better part anyway. Do you agree, Pete?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
What's your thoughts, Pete, on Longstaff being dropped? Do you think harsh, or do you think the right decision?
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because he's been playing well, but he wasn't so great last week. Maybe it's just to give him a bit of a break, because I think he has been working his socks off. So I kind of can understand it in a way.
Yeah, I mean, he's, apart from the cup final and the game last week, he's basically played every minute of every game that he started. So he maybe just giving him a rest.
Yeah, maybe. I think, because I thought last week he looked very leggy in that first half, against Brentford. And I thought, he needs to probably be taking out the starting lineup. So the starting lineup for Villa is Martinez in goal. Obviously the Golden Glove winner at the World Cup. Ashley Young, Konsa, Tyrone Mings, Alex Moreno, and John McGinn in midfield as the captain. Then Donka, Douglas Luiz, Jacob Ramsey, Emilio Buendia, and Ollie Watkins. On the subs bench, they have Olsen, Sinisalo, Diego Carlos, Traore, Chambers, Duran, Lucas Digne, Rivan, and Patterson. So that is the starting lineup, and substitutes for Aston Vanilla, as we like to call them.
Aston Vanilla.
Like that one, don't you, Pete?
Oh, God.
I just thought I'd throw that one in there because somebody else mentioned in the chat. So let's Vanilla Ace. Happy with that lineup, says Lewis. Absolutely. I think Longstaff needs a rest, says Luke. Yeah, and good to see Almiron back, says Ian. Absolutely, Ian. Sorry, Roly.
Yeah, so it's happy with the lineup.
Definitely.
So it surprised me, Longstaff being left out, but we've got that competition for places that you can afford to pull him out, give him a rest, and because we've got the players, it's not like we were at the beginning of the season where you lose one player and you're scrambling for a replacement. Now we have three top quality midfielders and one superstar. And we only play three in midfield, so it's going to be strong whoever starts.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so there you go. That's the Villa lineup anyway, just in case anybody is wondering. That lineup doesn't really frighten you, does it? As such, I mean, Mings has been minging in defence, hasn't he? But
he's been playing.
I know we did hammer them at St James's Park 4-0, and obviously Martinez went off with that concussion, which was stupid the way he kept on, and then he went off. And if there was any time trying to blatant time waste, then he was. I'm sorry. And then Olsen came on, not his fault for the goals, obviously, but we just ran Villa ragged. They were in a wretched strain of form at the time, but there's no reason why we can't beat that Villa side, is there, Pete? When you look at that team,
Absolutely.
Does that team frighten you?
No, it doesn't at all.
No. And Ramsey's a decent player, but he's young. Watkins, he is. Okay, but it doesn't frighten me at all. We just need to apply ourselves properly, and we'll come away with 3 points.
Yeah. Says Tyrone Mings is the Midlands Harry Maguire.
Oh He's got it up again.
You love that one, Pete. Alan says, I'm more than happy with the lineup, but what gives us all confidence is our bench strong these days. Absolutely, Alan. And the thing is, though, Alan, Eddie Howe has come out and said that we get in the Champions League, we got to buy elite players in. And, you know, I mean, the thing is, I'm going to come to you, Pete, and then I'll come to Roly. I mean, now then, there's a lot going around at the moment now. Apparently, we are interested in Declan Rice in the summer, but also we're interested in Jude Bellingham, according to reports. Now, we get Champions League. This is a huge project, and not only that, there's going to be big players looking at our club, Pete, and they're going to be thinking, hang on a minute, this club's on the up. Why wouldn't you want to come and join us, you know?
Absolutely.
Liverpool might not finish in European place. Chelsea will definitely not finish in European place. I can't see it, to be fair. No. So, I mean, obviously I would rather have Jude Bellingham more than anything, but could you see us getting either one of those two, Pete?
Could be. I don't think Declan Rice will cost as much as Jude Bellingham. I would say Jude Bellingham, I think you're talking over 100 million for him. That's the thing, though. But it would surprise me if one of them two came through.
Get him on a 5-year contract there, Pete. £20 million a year in instalments for Jude Bellingham, 100 million. Do the Todd Bowley way. and Roly, the same question for you.
I don't think we'll get Bellingham because I think
he's Madrid bound, if I'm honest.
Yeah. And I think that his potential availability has come a couple of years too early for us. Declan Rice, I think a lot of it will depend on where he wants to go and whether he wants to be first choice in midfield. Because if he goes to Arsenal, he's got to compete with Partey and Odegaard in the middle. Would he want to go to Chelsea with no European football? And then they've got loads of competition. Whereas if he comes to us, he's an upgrade on everyone other than Bruno. So he starts. And he'd be cheaper than Bellingham. I think maybe 80 I'd have thought would be enough to get him. But it depends on where he wants to go, because basically he can go where he wants to. If he wants to stay in London, we'll have to get Eddie to do the trick that Kevin Keegan played on Rob Lee, saying that Newcastle's closer to East London than Arsenal. Like he did with Middlesbrough, Keegan did, saying Newcastle's closer to London than Middlesbrough to convince Rob Lee to come in the 90s. But so it's a possibility, and I think that our actual total spend might not be as high as everyone keeps saying it's going to be, and the reason for that is I think there are a few players that are out of contract in the summer that we could go after. Of high quality, like Marcus Thuram where's he playing? He's at
Gladbach.
Gladbach. Yeah, at Gladbach. Obviously, Tielemans is out of contract. I'm sure they're. I'm not sure. Was it Milinkovic-Savic? Is he out of contract in the summer? Or has he got 1 year left?
No, he have a year left, Roly.
Yeah. Which still brings the price down. So if we can get get a Rice and a Maddison, we could then get some quality players who are on free transfers, which then helps to keep us within the financial fair play. With Milichenko-Savic being the last year and saying he's not going to sign again, that decreases his value as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to shop clever. They know who they want. they'll know the contract position. So if the people they'll look at the free transfer market, and they'll look to bring in some high quality recruits that way. We're going to sell a few people that helps. I don't know your thoughts, but there's talk that we might go in for Ekatike again. I don't know what your
I don't want to go back in for him
I
again.
can't see that happening. I can't see that happening, to be fair.
No, I don't. I thought the way
He's had his chance as far as I'm concerned.
and the way
Yeah,
his
but the
agent played
thing-
around with us was just no.
That's his agent more than anything else. But I think the thing that gives it credence is that if we want a player, we're patient and we'll wait until we can get him. Now they were really keen on him in the January last year and in the summer, so they obviously rate the kid. It's not our fault that his agent said, "Oh, we can get you to PSG," which is, say, his the biggest club in his country. He'll be playing with Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. So you can understand his head being turned and wanting to go there. They all and the club said at the end of the saga that there was no animosity between him and the club. So
Yeah.
And would be able to get him for less than we were offering in the summer because PSG want to offload him. It just did. I mean, like a lot of us said, it didn't make sense in going to PSG because he wasn't going to get the playing time.
No. Well, we knew that.
Yeah. Obviously, his agent has told him that he will do, and they had a plan.
Yeah, because his agent, it's all about that money.
Yeah, that was the problem. Because the agent wanted a shitload of money and we didn't want to pay it. So it could be that a case that he'll come back with his tails between his legs, but then he'll have that extra incentive to do well and play hard because of what happened before. And they say the club liked him because they went in for him twice.
Yeah.
So they see something, and then at the end of the day, it's like with any player, until they sign, it doesn't matter what they do, you can like him or dislike him. When they sign, he's one of ours. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that people said, oh, they don't want Dubravka at the club, but he's come back, so he's still ours until he leaves. And you support him until he leaves. When he leaves, then people will go back to saying, oh, glad he's gone. But when he's in black and white, and the kid, he's a young kid as well. I think is he 20 now? 21?
Yeah.
He'll get the chance. He'll have a proper development plan put in place for him. He'll be there for cover for Isak and Wilson. And he'll be able to develop, and he'll have learned his lesson from going to PSG and expecting. It's almost like he believed his own hype. For just waltz into the team. Whether we go back in for him or not is yet to be seen. But you're thinking how he's disappointed at PSG. They'll want to get some of their money back because it was a loan with an obligation to buy. So we might be able to get them in it's like 20 million. Because if they want to cut their losses.
I doubt that one in Roly, though. I'm sure, I'm not being funny, we can get better than that. And I don't think the kid will have any confidence now because he's not played. And as far as I'm concerned, in my eyes, I just don't see it's a deal we could reopen. I don't think we will. I just think it's media talk, in all honesty.
I'm not sure that we'll go back into him, but it's obviously for the reasons I've gone through, it's an intriguing one, especially if you can get him at a cut price deal. There's obviously talent there because we wouldn't have gone in for him in the first place. And you know what Eddie can do to players. So it's a case of just wait and see. But as everybody knows, we're going to be linked to every man and his dog in the
definitely.
Summer. I mean, if I put a pair of boots on and seen in public, they might think that we're in for me.
Yeah. Just going to catch up on some comments. Sefton says, Flash, Gordon's playing. You'll see every one of us. There he is. He certainly is. So there you go. Yes, Flash Gordon is playing today. I've got plenty of comments here, so we'll just jump into some of these. Any biasness from the referees today? Let's hope not.
Well, unless it's for us.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if it's for us, then yeah, that's absolutely fine. But we don't mind a bit of biasness. But I think all in all, referees now, I think they're they're going to be under a lot of scrutiny this week, and that's this weekend, and that's the thing. After last weekend, we've seen a lot going on last weekend. But I mean, our referee today, young man John Brooks, who's 32-year-old, assisted by Matthew Wilkes and Mark Scholes. Fourth official is Graham Scott. VAR is Simon Hooper, and assistant VAR is Adrian Holmes. That's for today. Troll says, this Maguire is so be cruel and compare Festa to Maguire. Liam says, all right, lads, you're all doing good. Big game for us today. Try and create the gap on Man United, especially with all the injuries. They have. I'm going as far as scrappy 2-1 win. Going starts 2 away. The lads, absolutely. Do you know what? Getting another 3 points is more important. As I keep saying, I couldn't care if we won 1-0 and it comes off Martinez's arse in the last minute of the game. 3 points. It's 3 points. That's the only thing I look for. But whatever we score, whatever the scoreline is.
At this stage of the season, it's all about the win. It doesn't matter what the scoreline is. We've got the goal difference advantage on the clubs chasing us, so a 1-0 win is fine.
Yeah. Troll says, our project may convince Bellingham, but it has to happen if we have UEFA Champions League, absolutely. Liam says, imagine Bruno Rice, Joe Linton in midfield. That would be insane, yes, wouldn't it just be?
Or will it?
I'm not convinced by Tielemans, says Coffee.
I mean, he has been out of sorts of late, but I think that's more to do what's going on with Leicester than his ability, and he's had a lot of injuries this season.
Yes, says Roly's right. Ekiteki, Pedro and Madison still on the list. DCB, Lionel Messi. I don't think so. I can't see it too old. I think really, in all honesty, he's 36. Yes, he's still got it, but I think he'll be off to Saudi in all honesty in the summer.
Yeah.
If you're new to the channel, mate, please hit that subscribe. Thank you. Craig says, Bellingham, teammate with blonde hair, us on a free. Yeah, that's a shout, isn't it? Troll says, I will never support Dubravka again. He's not black and white to me. That's fair enough. Julian Brandt.
If Pope goes down and he starts, you've got to support him.
Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you very much indeed. Sefton, I've got 49 watching, so if you can all smash them likes, that'd be great. Thank you. Brilliant numbers in the chat, says Sefton. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much indeed to everybody. Gary says, I really hope we go back for James Maddison. I think we will do. Yeah, honestly, I do. Luke says, if the SM was to be sold in the summer, would you look at Zaha on a free if the money went towards bringing in Rice? I wouldn't want Zaha, to be fair. I really don't rate him. I mean, to me, it's not really... to me, he doesn't do it. And sorry, I missed Craig's comment, so I do apologise, Craig. He says, let's get the lad from PSV, sorry, yes, Xavi Simons. Do you know what? I talked this lad up last year. I would have had him at Newcastle last year. He went there in a free in the summer. Do you know what? This guy is a cracking player. 19 years of age, Xavi Simons. And do you know what? He would be absolutely fantastic in our midfield. He would be brilliant. And he's a star of the future, this lad. And he's going to be one of Holland's rising stars because he is one hell of a player. If you haven't seen him, go and check him out. And if you can watch an Eredivisie game when they're playing PSV, just watch this kid. He really has got some talent. Yeah, I would be all over this, to be all honesty. You could probably pick him up for about 40 million, and that's still worth it. That's a bargain in my eyes. Because he can play in three positions: defensive midfield, midfield centre, and attacking midfield centre. So you've got the best of both there. He can play in number 8, he can play in number 6. He's versatile. I'll just go into some more comments. Luke says, if yes, oh yeah, we read that one. Luke. Joel says, I don't want to support a player who runs away, then finally gets some competition. Absolutely. I think he'll be gone this summer. Zaha's too old for us. How we buy players. And Liam says, Messi is going back to Barca to retire. Don't think there's any position to sign Bellingham, Madison, or Racers more lately. Yeah, absolutely. And Skriniar, Alvarez, Madison, and Grimaldo for me. Well, yeah, because it isn't Grimaldo on a free in the summer. Isn't he out of contract?
I think so.
Would you take him, Pete?
Yes, I would.
I mean, who in an ideal world would you want in the summer, Pete?
Definitely would love. I think my number one's Moussa Diaby at the moment.
Yes,
I think a winger like him would be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
I agree with that. But we need an upgrade at left back. Dan Burn's done well, but we need a actual top class left back. Kearney would be good there. Obviously, Madison would be good. I think we're going to go for a centre midfield, defensive midfielder. Someone like Marcus Thuram would be good as well. He's on a free. So I think we're 5 players, maybe 6, depending on the cost. If we get a couple of free transfers in, that means that we could spend bigger on the ones that we have to pay fees on.
Yeah. Matt says, good day, Tony, Roly and Pete and chatters. I love a Saturday night 9:30 game in Australia. I bet you, it's nicer than getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch a game, isn't it, Matt? Absolutely, mate. Craig says, that's his name. He's a good player as Bellingham. Yeah. Ian says, I'm off now, guys. Going to the chippy to get my dinner before the match starts. Take care, everyone. Yeah, enjoy your chippies, mate. I hope you're having fish and chips, whatever you're having. Annin, good afternoon. He says, sub on the halt. Let's hope so, Annin. Let's hope so.
Oh, yes.
If you're new to the channel, mate, smash that subscribe. Thank you. Troll says, finally a normal time for you in Australia. Yeah, 17. Bye-bye to Ian. Alpha Zinger. 5 to 6 minimum.
I don't think it'll be more than 6.
Yeah, maybe. Tune review, Paul. How are the lads? How are the lads? Stephanie, Paul, mate. Well, lads? You got to watch along as well, haven't you, this afternoon? Or this morning stroke afternoon. It's just a weird time, 12:30, isn't it? I fear Richie and Dummett get new contracts.
I don't think Richie will.
No. But Dummett, he may do because it's a homegrown talent. And do you know what I mean? You've got to keep a certain amount of... hi, Paul. And Matt says, yeah, I love it, Trolls. Yeah, Matt loves it because it's a nighttime kickoff. Bellingham's teammate who's on a free centre midfielder has about 25 goal contributions. That's Julian Brandt, isn't it? Yes, he is a class player. Yes, I'd definitely take him as well. And like you see, on a free, even if he didn't play week in, week out, but he's on the bench and you've got strength and depth as well. That's what it's all about. You've got to have... We've got, like Man City, they've got 2 teams.
We have to get 3 teams. If we want to compete in the Champions League, we need more than 5 quality players on the bench.
Yeah.
So that we need to be able to rotate during the season so that we can actually attack all competitions, because we'll be playing more games next season. So we need that depth.
Yeah. BS saying Julian Brandt's not on a free. Oh, he's not out of contract this summer. Just when everybody's saying he's on a trans. So he's not out of contract. Right, okay. But maybe even so, he's probably going to be a heck of a lot cheaper than what Jude Bellingham will be. That's for sure. But we'll have a look at his contract situation. Julian Brandt. But he is, other than that, he is a good player, though. Let's be real, he is good. Let's have a look at his stats. His status. There we are. Julian Brandt. He's 26, 6'1", right-footed. Now he's got a contract till 2026, so he's still got 3 years on his contract. So he's valued at around 41 million euros. His strengths are his playmaking and his long balls. He can play attacking midfield and right wing. He started 22 of 25 games he's played. In the Bundesliga, he's got 8 goals and 4 assists. So yeah, he's not bad at all. Yeah, he is a cracking player. But yeah, he is not out of contract at the moment. Troll says we should use first time back in UEFA Champions League if we get to learn, in my opinion. Absolutely. Got to go, all take care. Yeah, we're wrapping up soon as well. Thank you very much, Trolls. Alpha, we need a right centre back, attacking left back, 2 midfielders, 1 for creativity, 1 for CDM to push Bruno up and attack, especially if Maxi leaves. Yeah, I go along with that. McAllister from Brighton, 24, will be quality under Howe. Had a brilliant World Cup. Looks very bright to me. What do you think? World Cup winner. Do you know what it is, Liam? He's a terrific player, but I think Brighton will want a hell of a lot of money for him. And I think we wouldn't be the only team in for him. I think there'll be a hell of a lot looking at him, more so from abroad. Maybe even if, say, for instance, Madrid did lose out on Bellingham, they may be looking at McAllister. Who knows? Pete, your thoughts, McAllister?
Cracking player, isn't he? Absolutely, he is a cracking player. Definitely as well. What a player.
And you, Roly?
Yeah, he's been superb for Brighton. Had a really good World Cup. I thought he was actually probably Argentina's player of the tournament. Thought it was that good. Yeah, but there are going to be a lot of people after him. A lot of people. And it's not going to come cheap either. That's the thing.
No,
with Brighton, nobody comes cheap.
Yeah.
They demand top dollar for their players, and rightly so, because they've got this conveyor belt of talent coming through. So when they sell one player, they've got someone ready to step into his place.
Yeah. Sorry, Roly, I'm just going to have to interrupt you, mate, because Pete's got to shoot. Before you go, Pete, obviously, BS says, will Qual be brought back as a backup forward? Who knows? I'm sure he will be. And Craig says, my mistake, I thought he was in his last season of his contract. Pete, we're going to wrap up anyway, but before you head off, Pete, do you want to let people know where they can find you on your socials and what you've got coming up?
Yep, so PD Proudlock, my channel. Feel free to check out and subscribe. I'll be doing the watch along as well for the game, so I'll get that going as soon as I come off here. And feel free to follow me social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, all PD Proudlock as well.
Lovely, Pete. Thank you very much indeed, mate. Thank you for coming
No
on,
problem.
Pete. And, have a great watch along, and
hopefully we'll win.
So, yeah, hopefully we've got them 3 points, Pete. Let's hope so, mate.
Absolutely. Take care, Tony.
Enjoy the game. See you later, mate. Bye-bye. And that's Pete. I'm just going through these last couple of comments before we wrap up. Liam says, it's a shame Trossard went Arsenal, would have been ideal for us. I think he would have been, but I don't know if Eddie Howe maybe looked into his, was he right for the club or not? Maybe not. I don't know. We saw him have a couple of fallouts, didn't we, with Brighton, with De Zerbi, so maybe his attitude wasn't there. Alpha says, do you think we should cash in on Maxi while we can, or keep him for squad depth or an impact? So I think keep him for squad depth, definitely. And Paul says 2-1-2. How are the lads? Yeah, I definitely think squad depth.
Yeah, you never know. He might actually improve his game more than he has now, stay fit long enough to actually hold down the first team place. He's got all the tools and he's starting to put them together. And then he gets injured again.
Yeah, absolutely. Roly, we're going to wrap up. So do you want to let people know where they can find you as well?
I'm on Twitter at Pol67.
Sefton, auf Wiedersehen. How are the lads? Enjoy the game. Thanks, Sefton. Auf Wiedersehen to you. Yeah. Thank you very much indeed, Roly, for that as well, for coming on. Guys, if you like what you see, please smash the like. It really does help the channel to search results. So if you haven't smashed that like yet, please do it on the way out. It helps the algorithms. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. Currently on the way to 500, so I'm only 14 away. So if you haven't subscribed, then please do so. That'd be great. Thank you very much indeed. Also, you can find me on Twitter at TonyTooney31 down there. So give me a follow and I'll follow you back. Also on the same handle on Twitch as well. Trying to sort out my Instagram, so I'll sort that one out. So yeah, last chat. Liam says, we all thought that were Gordon, but I think his attitude's changed now. How can change a player? And look at the turnaround in Joe Linton. Yes, absolutely. Liam says, enjoy the game, boys. And you too, mate. And Andrew says, cheers, lads, later. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hopefully I'll be back this afternoon with a reaction show, so keep an eye out for that one. And, yeah, do stay safe. Do enjoy what you're doing. If you're having a bet on the Grand National, enjoy the Grand National at 5:15 tonight as well. Let's hope that's on the back of 3 points from the tune. And as always, you know, if you do have a bet, don't chase your losses. And Andrew says 19-0. How are you, the lads? Do you know what, Andrew? That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? 19-0. I mean, we would all love that, but yeah,
chances of that are slim.
Very, very slim. But you never know, do you?
Yeah,
might have a couple. As long as Aston Villa don't have more than 5 players sent off, then we'll be all right because the game be abandoned. But because I bet there's teams have done that before where they're losing so much and they think, you know what, let's just get a few players sent off and then we'll get the game abandoned. It's easy to do. But anyway, guys, let's hope it's 3 points today and let's go on marching, keeping up in third place, and let's pile the pressure on Spurs and on Man United. Because remember, if Spurs get beat today and we win today, it's a 6-point gap. And we play Spurs next Sunday. So they won't enjoy coming to St James's Park. But anyway, until then, I'll see you all later. How are you, the lads? The future's bright. The future is black and white.